And we are live. Welcome again to episode number 8 of CarTUNES. Hey Mike, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I got my coffee ready.
Yeah, I got my silver mug
Yep.
here, and I'm in my posh
Yes.
living room here with my grand piano in the background, as if.
Yep. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So if you guys can
It's
hear, see us, come and say hi. Drop a
yep.
like in the box there. Please share into your car clubs, car scenes, profile page. It will be mean a lot to us to keep on going and give you these informations. And thanks again, Mike, for having me again on another
Welcome.
week.
No, you are my partner, mate.
So we got Jason Camillus here. Hi, Jason. How are you?
Hi. Hi, Bolvin.
We got Baldwin Chua
Yes.
here. Hi, Thana. Hi,
All
Mike.
right.
Hi, Baldwin. Thanks for joining us on a Sunday afternoon. I'm not
Yep.
sure if any of our Olympians are actually forming or on, because last night I think they were with other Olympians clashing.
Yes.
Roshan says hi guys, how are you? And we got Kanesan. These are like
Yeah.
really our hardcore followers. Thank you so much for joining us
Correct.
each
Thank you
week.
very much for following
We
us.
really appreciate your comments, your feedback.
Yep.
It means a lot to us to be able to spend this weekend with you. So today is an interesting topic. It's about timing belts, timing chains. But before that, today I think we've got a few segments, and the time's going to be 4 o'clock soon. So let's start with the intro and let's kick the show on the road. Let's start with the intro. Welcome back to another
Yep.
session of CarTUNES. This week is a
Yes.
bit different, Mike, because this week we are streaming on to 3 platforms. We are now available on
Yep.
YouTube on DNA Tuning. You can catch us on the every page of DNA Tuning, and now you can also catch us on Horizon's main page. So thank you, Horizon, for streaming our
Yeah.
content onto Horizon. Thank you, Bobby.
Yeah. Thank you, Bobby, Con, and the team, Horizon. Yeah. Chris as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yep.
today it's a bit different because we're gonna have 3 segments to our show today. First segment, we've got a segment where we call as the car tune of the day, because a lot of us ask us, highlight particular car and show us the particular car's prowess, and we figured why not we hear from the horse's mouth. So we got a supporter of DNA tuning here, Darren. So let me welcome Darren in.
Yep.
Hey Darren, how are
Hi,
you?
Darren.
Hi Thana, hi Mike. Thank
Yeah.
you for having me.
Yeah, welcome. And Darren owns a VW Golf 1.4, and Darren owns it from new. So
Yep.
from day one, he got the car, been using it. And I think all of them out there want to get a Golf. And I guess I start with, okay, why did you get the Golf 1.4?
Yep.
And how has been your ownership experience, Darren?
Cause for me, I always find that the Golf is kind of like an underdog.
Hmm?
Cause it's just a
Mm.
1.4 engine, but then you have a very high output, very high torque. And then when I have it, the time when it was new, then the gearbox was a bit sometimes sluggish for the DSG also actually. Yeah. Then
But,
sometimes for
I
daily
guess, okay,
driving,
yeah.
yes.
But I guess before that, why did you actually get the Golf
Yep.
to begin with?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, did it fit your lifestyle? What was it about the Golf which kind of like, it's the car I want to get? Like, what is there like a thing with you? You like the older Golf? What was it?
Yeah.
So the car was actually passed down by my mom.
Okay,
So it was my
Okay.
parents' car. Then
okay.
after when I got my driving license, then it became mine.
So you took basically a Pasaka to the beast that you have now, lah.
Yes.
Yes. So how has the experience been for you? Yeah, driving the Golf.
Before Tune, when I first get to drive it, it was okay. Then after when I got used to it already, it's very sluggish. Then on the highway, when you want it to go, it doesn't want to go sometimes.
Oh, okay. But before we got to even tuning your car and all that,
Mhm.
because I think a lot of people out there they want to find out, how, because everybody hear the bad things about our Golf, especially the 1.4 TSI.
Mhm.
There has
Yeah.
been a lot of bad rap lah. You put it
Yeah.
that way. Yeah. So, for you, how has it been like? Because since your family has owned the car from you,
Mhm.
so what have you all gone through with the car actually? And what's the mileage now?
So, I mean, the typical Golf 1.4 problem is the mechatronic. We got it changed a few times, and
Wow.
How
then
many times?
A few times.
I think 2 to 3 times.
2
Wow.
to 3 times.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, and
And
then
when
the
was the
piston.
last one?
The last mechatronic change
Yes.
was during my piston. You know, boom.
Replacement.
Yeah,
Wow. So
Yeah.
so you
that
you
was
have gone through
2018, I think.
you've gone through a colorful history, lah, I guess.
Yeah, the full 1.4 lifestyle.
Nah.
1.5 lifestyle. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's your car there we have, and I guess after all
Yep.
this, you went through all this. At the end of the day, after you've gone through all the issues, you came to DNA, and now it's tuned. I guess the story was you were never happy with the car. I think with the gear shifts. I remember talking to you before. I think
Mm-hmm.
the gear shifts wasn't that always bothered you, I guess
Mm.
before and after, how's that gear shift now? I mean, what's the main change you see?
Yep.
The main change that I can feel from after the tune, it was the gear change was very smooth.
Hmm.
Mm.
So it doesn't feel sluggish anymore. The car
Mm.
it just shifts.
And I think that again, I'm also I also have a car on DNA tuning. I noticed that part of the reason the car was stressed out before was the fact that I had to push more for the car to get the power out. And I think that
Yep.
caused a lot of damage to the car before tuning. So before tuning, I had to really push the car more to get the power out. But now it's such easier. You kind of put lesser pressure on the car. That's what I personally feel. Was there ever? Do you share the same sentiments there?
Yeah. When
Yeah.
I'm driving now after the tune,
Mm.
just a slight throttle, you can feel the car it wants to go.
Mm. And I think
It doesn't feel like it doesn't.
and I think it's part to do with the fact that the way the DSG gearbox is tuned, isn't it? It's like the whole dual clutch, the way it works. It's like you can predict, cannot predict. It's like a bit there, depending on what kind of tune you get. And I think 1.4 has been detuned, so they say, They actually detuned the car for you from stock. So yeah, I like the way you say it's a 1.4 lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though it's a colorful one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's history.
History.
The history. Yeah. Yes.
Battle scars,
Mm.
battle
Yes.
scars. But
And I
guess
think one of the main thing you feel is also your car now feels less stressful, right? When you drive it.
Oh,
Do you feel
very
that?
less stressful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very
And,
easy to drive. It's very comfortable to drive, even in D.
If you could
Yes.
go back, then I think back to when it was new or back to much earlier before you went unit tuning recently. This is like what it's not your second year, isn't it, on DNA, I believe.
No,
Pardon?
he's quite recent actually.
Recent or recent.
Quite
Okay.
recent.
So
Darren is a recent one.
if you could go back in time, what lesson
Mhm.
have you learned and what would you advise other guys want to get the 1.4? Is there any things that you should look after, anything you advise them on?
This one I don't really have much advice, but
Mm.
if you really want your car you want the 1.4 to feel good and then to feel like if it has potential, then I think the DNA tuning is good for the car actually.
Mm. Mm.
Mm.
And your experiences with before when you had the whole, I guess, the mechatronic change and as well as the engine blow up, what experiences or what were you told as the potential cause of those issues? Just like
What do you mean by potential cost?
I mean, why do you think it happened to you? I mean, I mean, I've heard people with 1.4s having DSG failures, mechatronic and a change. Some of them say the way you drive. I mean, if you could go back in time and do something differently, what would you do differently? Or would you say don't get the 1.4? What would your advice? And again, this is again, guys. This is unscripted. This is live.
Yep.
You want to hear something very honest, like it's an honest opinion, I don't want to get paid here to review stuff, whatever. But As a car itself, what is your advice to people getting the 1.4 Golf?
As a car itself, it's actually a very good car.
Hmm.
For daily commute, then for weekend, a bit of fun driving. Yeah, it's a very good car. The only thing you have to look out for is just long-term wear and tear, like the Mecca. That one is cannot avoid. But if you don't mind this kind of small hiccups, then it's a very good car.
Because I guess in today's world, the mechatronic isn't really a big issue, isn't it? It's just like
Yes.
one of those things. You're like, like 2K, you buy the part, you put it in, and it's like servicing or it's up and running, like, and you get the performance of a really, really powerful car. What you pay for what you get, it's worlds apart, lah. Worlds apart.
Yeah.
Especially now when the price of the Mecca is dropping already. It's not that like last time.
How much is it now?
I think they can get it around 2,000 plus.
Yeah, correct. Remember before it was like crazy, like 5, 7, no?
Yeah, 7. I think last time 7 to 8.
And I guess back then the experts weren't a lot in the market. Was still a new thing in the market. But now, every other shop you go to, they can probably hook you up. They take your old car, they put back a new one for you and recon, and okay, you're back in the road, 2 days max.
Yeah,
back in the road.
Yes. And also now, so many people can handle the car. Can maintain the car already. So it's a fantastic buy now.
Yeah.
I think these cars now are only in the second-hand market, maybe about 40 to about 40 plus, about 40.
And then that's crazy to think about 210 horsepower on stage 2. My God, I mean, think
very
about
good chassis.
Chassis is very good.
Chassis.
SUV,
safety is there.
Is there, and I guess the weight, how much does it weigh again? Darren, you remember?
I don't recall actually.
I think this one is about 1,400 kilos, the car, plus minus 1,400 kilos.
Crazy.
Yeah. So that's fantastic, lah.
Okay.
And also the fuel efficiency on this car is just crazy as well.
Yeah, we got some question here from Daniel. Say, hi Mike, I got a Merc A200 1.6 constraint for tuning. Can Daniel perform? Yeah, definitely can.
Definitely, yes. We have done many.
Yeah, Ian, could you just bring up the tuning potential for the A200? We'll check and come back to you shortly.
Yep.
And same thing, we also got a Passat B8 for inquiry. Okay, Passat B8. Passat B8 obviously is, I think, very close to your heart, Mike.
Yes. Passat B8, depending whether it's a 1 point. I think Alfred, yours is 1.8 or so, Alfred. Not mistaken. I think that will, from 180, we take it up to about 220, 230 stage 1. And the increase of the torque, if not mistaken, is about 70 newtons. Easily, yeah. So that's what we can do.
Just the thing.
We do have another one for F10 523.
What engine is your Passat, by the way?
I think it's 1.8. Yeah, he's right. Alfred has replied us here.
1.8.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm just bringing it up on the screen shortly. 1.8, which is the 180. Let me just share my screen very quickly. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we have done the 1.8s before.
Yeah, plenty.
Many.
Yeah. So I'm going to StreamYard. Share screen. Second. This is the thing we're doing live.
Yes. I'm not so good with.
Here we are. Okay, here we are. So as you can see, the Passat. So stock it's 180 horsepower. After tuning, you'll get up to 240 horsepower. Wow, my God!
Yes.
240 horsepower on stage 1.
Yes.
And that's
a RON 97, RON 98.
Yeah, and or the torque goes from 250 to 380. This is 1.8, by the way. My God, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, but for the Malaysian version, because you guys don't have the manual transmission here, we tend to limit it to about 320, 330 lah.
I see.
Because of the clutch issues.
Correct.
Can't take the high torque from the dry clutch.
The clutch has a capacity, and I think that the biggest change is obviously the power curve. I mean, it seems like even the original power curve, there is a drop when you get to about, I think, 4,000 RPM.
You can highlight the chart, Thana.
You can. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So, oh, yeah.
There you go.
So at about 3,000 RPM stock, you can see it drops. The torque actually drops, but here after the tuning, it's very consistent. In fact, it goes up all the way up to your 4,000 RPM. So as a car itself, normally we look at it from 0 to 4,000 RPM. That is your biggest usable RPM, because you're not going to go to a track to go to that way up RPM and stuff, right now, or you have no road to go to the RPM. So as a usable space, it's fantastic. Also, if you see the power curve, you can see all the way it follows through. And this is something very important, I think. When you tune your car, you do not want to have the power curve too different to what your car is stock. Because you can make this curve be like, I go straight up and then go down. But the issue with that is, yes, on stop go and you press, it goes up very high, but the impact on your timing chain, which we'll talk today about, the impact on your car, all that is severe. So you got to see how do you think about the car's mechanics, what it can handle, whether it's a Golf, whether it's a Passat, all of them have got a certain power curve. And we got to follow the same power curve to make sure we are using the same limits of the car, but just amped up a little bit more. And maybe with that, you kind of service the car more often. I mean, that's the only downside. But other than that, you're keeping it to the same curve. And that's very difficult to do, which obviously the DNA tuning concept is about keeping to the car's DNA. And that's the beauty of it. I mean, look at the curve. It's how beautiful that is. So nice.
Yes.
Yeah. So
it's
yes,
about keeping the DNA of your vehicle itself. And basically taking away some of the bad DNAs. Maintaining the good ones and improving on the bad ones.
We got a question from, let's take the question from the F1053. We got a very good video on the DNA YouTube page. Please go have a look. Ian did the video. Definitely F1053. It's really something that's
but this 523, I think, Thana, it's actually the normally aspirated N3. Yes, it's 525. This one. So I mean, sorry, not 525, but 2.5 liter engine.
So go and check it out. We do tune BMWs plenty.
But this particular one, this particular vehicle, is only actually offered in the Asian market. It didn't really sell it in Europe, because the Europe 523i is still with a 3 liter engine. Okay, with this particular vehicle here, I think we are looking at about 15-20 horses from the stage 1 tune.
So I mean, is this the one, the F10?
No, this is a 3 liter actually. If you look at it, the 3 liter has been detuned to 204 horses in the
I see. The branding in Malaysia is such a way that they I
think for the Asian market, because of the road tax and stuff like that, so BMW has actually put in the smaller engine, which can produce the same horsepower, like a 523.
So it's a 2 liter engine.
No, 2.5. Malaysian one is a 2.5 liter.
Okay, so they definitely come over. I mean, this isn't a full list, but definitely we can tune your car. And I think the biggest change you'll see is on the power delivery. I've got a question from Jakanathan Balakrishnan. Hey guys, can a Peugeot 2 GTR be tuned? Or we love French cars? Come over.
Yes, definitely. I own one. I don't own one. My son owns ones as well. I bought for you.
So our phone number is down there. You can call Mike 012-202-4881. Call us and we can handle your tuning questions. And then Jeff Lee asked a question: is there any point for tuning a naturally aspirated engine that is port injected, i.e., a Mazda 2.5? Okay, Mike, I'll let you handle this one.
Jeff, we can tune your car, but the gains are quite minimal with this particular engine and ECU. I think Mazda with their 2.5, they actually give you almost full on, what the engine is capable of. It's only on a 2 liter Mazdas where we see quite a gain when we tune the car. So
Okay.
unfortunately, we cannot really help you much.
Okay.
2.5 non-sky active.
Okay, so we have Darren on board. Any questions for Darren, guys, on the VW platform? Please ask away.
Yes. Yep.
And yeah, so a small question for Mike again. So, do you tune non-factory spec cars? For example, a Subaru BRZ with a bolt-on turbo.
For the Subaru, we don't really we haven't really done any with a bolt-on turbo lah. So this one I have to check with my guys in the UK and see whether they have had experience tuning a turbo bolt-on the BRZ 86 platform.
Because more likely you're gonna have a standalone ECU. It's probably a better way of managing it.
Yeah,
right?
we are not sure lah. Whether we can what we can do with that. So do drop me a line, via my WhatsApp or my Facebook, and then we'll definitely come back to you. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to go to a small break now, and again, Darren, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, Darren. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Welcome back, guys. So today's show we're going to talk about. I believe it's an interesting topic. It's about timing chains and belts, and I think for me as a user, one of the main concerns I had, Mike, was that what is the impact on my car? I mean, will it damage my car if I go tuning? And I think a lot of it depends on the condition of the car. One of the more catastrophic issues on the car that could go wrong is what called on timing chain, timing belt. And I figured it would be good idea to go through the history of timing chain, timing belts, what they are, simple kind of an understanding for and appreciate what they are and what it does and what it doesn't. So before that, Mike, what cars do you have now, and any on timing chain or belts?
Okay. I think my 6-cylinder cars are all on chain. I got 3 6-cylinder cars, so those are on the chain. My 4-cylinder cars are all on belts, including Isaac's car. My Mark 5 GTI is on the belt. So is Isaac's Citroen.
And it's interesting if we think about the whole idea. This is about the idea of engine synchronization, and I think what they are is, we got a small diagram here. You got, I guess, the whole engine working in harmony, and for this to run, you've got obviously your camshaft there, but there are more stuff happening in the car, from your valves opening and closing to your water pump, and a lot of things are happening at the same time, and I guess to keep it in sync, beside the camshaft, I guess you need your timing belt and timing chain, because essentially they are just a tool to sync the engine, isn't it? And if you go back in history, the first cars ever made were always on timing chains, and only in the 80s they came about. I think 80s, a bit earlier than that.
70s.
70s,
70s.
They came out with timing belts, and the idea was because it was cheaper to produce, cheaper to change. Because imagine if you got a timing chain which was supposedly a lifetime, or you must change. You got to pick out the whole engine and change it. But with timing belts, basically it was a part. I mean, if you see your Vira, you'll see on the side there'll be a timing belt cover. You open 4 or 5 bolts, you take out, you can see, this is my timing belt. So easy, and you can replace them. It became a very easily serviceable item, and that was the beauty of timing belts. But today, I guess more cars are going back to timing chains. What's your take, Mike? What do you prefer, chains or belts? I mean, if you had an option to pick one.
Actually, if you talk about 4-cylinder, we say 4-cylinder, and from a performance standpoint, the engineers actually prefer it to be on belts, because of the weight issue, one of it, and because when with the chain you're actually carrying more weight. So
Yeah.
when the engine spins faster, right? You're carrying the weight around. Yeah. So and your rev limits are lower, lah. If you are running a chain. Yeah. But saying that, BMW has mastered it. Their M engines are all on the chain. Yeah. Those engine revs to 8,500 revs. Up to V10. So fantastic.
Vibration all is not an issue nowadays. Back then, I think it was an issue when
Yes.
timing chains. Timing chain
Correct.
cars back then, if you have a timing chain car and a timing belt car, you could hear timing belt car
Yes.
and timing chain car. It's so visible because
Correct.
a chain, when it moves, there's
clatter.
vibration, a clatter. It's like
Yes.
almost like not diesel, but there's a clatter there, and this is a timing chain car. The old Peugeot,
Yes.
whatever, you could hear them. But not nowadays. Like they've fixed that problem. We got Jason here. I believe most people would prefer timing chains, but working in a German car manufacturer-based center, there are tendencies of timing chain. He works in, I think, BMW must be.
Yeah.
There are tendencies of timing chains to
Correct.
fail. See, tendency of timing chains to fail, and timing chains is supposed to be lifetime, and the cost is, we put quotes, is much higher compared to timing belts. Belts, example, is the timing chains may stretch over high mileage. Absolutely spot on, Jason.
Correct.
I think that is the thing. And I guess today is, what is lifetime? I mean, you talk about lifetime of the car, right? What would you think is a car's lifetime? Is it 200,000 kilometers?
I think now, if you look at it, looking at how most of these components fail nowadays on a lot of modern cars. I think the lifetime, you are actually looking at 160 to 200,000 kilometers.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Crazy.
Crazy.
Because if you look at it, right, when they say the timing chain, even with say the BMW N20 engines, and even the EA888 engines, the early ones, there has been known to have failures with chains, even with the N20 engines. And the failures can be as early as 100 to 120,000 kilometers. Which we have seen before. And a lot of this sometimes is either to a stretch timing chain, failed guides, and also a lot of time the tensioners. The tensioners fail over time, because what happens is that in Malaysia, all of us tend to forget, especially we folks that live in all the big cities in Malaysia, places, especially Penang, Malaysia, KL and JB. A lot of times on our daily commute, we are actually stuck in traffic for a good 2 hours. 2 to 3 hours a day, and your engine is actually still running. And if you follow the German manufacturers, they will tell you to change oil at 15,000 kilometers. And by the time you reach 7,000 to 8,000 kilometers, you have actually done the equivalent of 15,000 kilometers in KL traffic actually. So your oil will break down, and when the oil break down, all your little oil pressure holes and all that in the engine can get blocked out. And when that get blocked out, you don't get oil into the tensioners and the chain, failure. That can happen.
People forget that oil is not permanent. Oil has got viscosity, and viscosity will break down as a chemical.
Will break down
as the more you use. And
because we live in a high temperature climate as well, and it's humid as well here.
So I guess to sum it up, the very fact that when you say lifetime, their lifetime is what called as long as the car under warranty lifetime. Correct. So the car under warranty, that's a lifetime. After that, it's no longer their lifetime; it's your lifetime. It's how you manage it.
I mean, like last Friday, I changed the transmission oil on my 335, with the DCT transmission. And the oil came out not too bad, I will put it that way. All right. I know the previous owner changed it at 49,000 kilometers, and I'm exactly 80,000 kilometers now. So exactly 31,000 kilometers later. You guys will see a video of my oil change later, in my YouTube channel. The oil isn't not too bad, after 31,000 kilometers. But BMW specified that it was actually lifetime oil. And I don't believe it, and changing the DCT transmission oil on by 335. In fact, actually, I learned a couple of things as well. There is quite a few filters in the BMW DCT transmission. Yeah. So if we don't get those changed, and if they get stuck, you'll be left with a very expensive repair on the transmission.
I mean, what's interesting is like manufacturers like ZF, which provides a lot of the gearbox for BMW, they say do not listen to BMW. They say please, our service interval is 100. They actually come up with an interval. But BMW goes against the manufacturer, which manufactures and supplies the BMW, and say it's lifetime. And that's what I don't understand about, and that's just as crazy, So back to I guess timing belts and timing chains. I guess you can't actually pick and choose. You get a car. Cars comes with one or the other. And the fact was back then, I think they had what they call timing gears. There were timing gears to be able to sync various parts of the car, and then it was timing chains, and then came out timing belts. And then now we're going back to timing chains as the cars are getting smaller, tighter, more powerful, high torque applications. We need that strength, And I think when it comes to, and they all, I guess, the various ways to sync a particular car, and when cars come for service with you, service pull-up, and come for tuning with yourself, Mike. I think you always tell us like, okay, make sure you get the car service, make sure the car's in good condition, and timing change. I think is one of the less looked after elements when it comes for tuning, because tuning, guys, you must understand that it's a high torque application. You're gonna put a lot of torque on your car. You should look into your condition of your timing chain when you do your car tuning. I think it's a big factor.
I mean, that's why, like the Volkswagen 2-liter engine, the N20 engines, and then also the Mercedes CGI engine. I always check with the owners, when they come in. How often you have serviced your car, and even like the Mercedes CGI engines, Mercedes has been known to be the most reliable German manufacturer. Those cars, the timing gears always fail at those, at the chain as well. On the CGI engines, and that tends to happen from anything from 60 to 120,000 kilometers on those cars. So I guess that is the variable there. I think is how often the owners change their oil. So so that can throw the timing out as well.
I mean, on my Audi at 100,000, my timing chain was changed. So it's supposed to be lifetime again, but I had it changed because it wasn't failing, but it was stretched. So when it's stretched, it go like it's stretched. What now?
I think what happens is that we also tend to forget, our 2-liter engine nowadays, right, is producing what a 4-liter, 5-liter engine used to produce. The modern 2-liter engines. So the amount of stress that the engine actually goes through is quite tremendous, because we are using turbochargers to force the air in. That's why it's called forced induction. And there's a lot more pressure into the cylinders. Much more.
I would suggest anybody who's tuning a car. If your car's been changed, the belt and change is fine. But once you do the tuning, drive for a while, and then do an inspection when you do your next particular service or main service. Have them to open up, because it's quite easy. You can open up the front and just check. It's a particular engineering to check what they call the condition of the timing chain. And could be something similar, something small, maybe like the tensioner need to be changed, or maybe the guide be changed. Sometimes it's a small issue, small fix, but they'll go a long way. Because you are tuning your car and running at a much higher capacity than what the car is.
I mean, saying that, I've seen customers' cars with the N20 engine going to as much as 300,000 kilometers with the original engine. But of course, at 150, 160,000, most of these cars, they have actually done their timing chain as well. Even the Polo 1.2 engine also runs on the timing chain. And on that engine, I recommend when you reach 150, 160,000 kilometers, good time. to do the change. And that engine actually is a very strong engine, and very very little issues with that engine, except for the chain. Very
So
good engine.
We got Jason here saying that camshaft adjusters on the CJ engine on the Mercedes.
Yes, correct. Camshaft adjusters.
Yeah.
So you got to do the works when it's out. Jason, I guess you work for Mercedes, yeah, from the sounds of it.
So you from Merc we have to
Yes.
So we got Lou here. Lou going why this is about servicing cars. Ester-based oil can stretch further. Can you stretch what I call much further? My own experience, Mike, I used cam loop on my Audi. I was very happy with cam loop. It's also ester-based oil. Hi, Michael, if you're watching.
Yes.
And my personal experience is that the kilometers do not tell the full story. Simple as that. The kilometers don't tell the story. If you had gone to the track, for example, you know what, service it. Or if you have gone for Evo Enduro drive 1,000 kilometers, like one day you're driving 1,000 kilometers, you know what, service it. Because the kilometers only an indicator. It's only a fail-safe mechanism of the manufacturer to say, oh, service X amount of kilometers. And when cam loop or Monule or they say Motul, they say, oh, you must service every 20,000 kilometers now, much higher than before. Those things need to be taken into a picture of because you don't know the condition, you don't know your vibration, what gets shaken up, things get moved around, dirt moves around, there's small bits and pieces, things get to clog up, you never know, And some mechanics, what they do, like our friend Pyros Subsonic, if he's watching over here, they do a service whereby they actually take bits of oil from the car and they test for you, whether it's a DSG oil or whatever, they test for you and show you this is the condition, they'll do for you sample testing for you to think about should you service ahead of time or after time, So, and also the feel of the car. If you drive a car, you'll know the car isn't like normal, something is off, service it
Yes.
In Malaysia, so cheap by the way, and I wouldn't want to stretch it, it's just not worth to stretch. Although I've done 20Ks on my cam loop when I'm at normal driving conditions, but if I'm doing a track day or heavy jam conditions, change it. What's your longest ever mic on a car?
Don't know. I never go past 7, 8.
7, 8.
That's me. Yeah, 7 or 8,000 kilometers. I think the last oil change on my cars were all in December last year. All 3 cars done. We haven't gone very far, but I think I'm going to do it very soon again. Once we can start driving again, all the oil is going to come out and fresh oil going to go into them.
I guess in Malaysia.
But again, I'm running cam loop as well, ester based. I only done maybe 2,000-3,000 kilometers on them.
Yeah, so a tenth of the recommendation.
Yes. Yeah. But then again, the oil does get oxidized, you see. How the oxidation happens, when you have combustion in your engine, fuel goes into your engine, there is actually residue from the engine, unburned fuel, dirty fuel, it still gets in there, it still will contaminate your engine oil, and then the air as well, Nothing is 100%.
And also I guess that it's almost like a cleaning agent for the engine, because the moment the oil goes into all conditions, it cleans up all the areas. And for me especially, when I went to a particular good, better engine oil, the cleaning capacity is very high. I could literally see if I see the cams, like, oh wow, after third service you can see how different it was from before.
Yes. And also one more thing, sometimes we got the racy boys, we tend to go and I want to put in this racing oil into the engine. With the racing oil, the car feels very nice. It runs well, But the issue is a lot of issues is especially with the racing oil. They don't have the capacity to actually clean your engine. So a lot of us forget about that part, because that oil is built for racing only.
It's for short-term use, I guess.
Yeah, for short term, for maybe 500 kilometers or whatever for that particular race day. So you're supposed to go back to your normal oil, which has the capacity to actually clean the sludge off the engine and all that.
Michael made a
good
very comment. He
coastline.
said not to forget condensation in the oil as well.
Yeah,
That's
correct.
right.
Mm.
Because even
And
if
say
the car
5,000
being
kilometers.
because the car being sitting there, humidity will get in,
Correct.
and it just soaked into the engine, and
Yes.
it's crazy, man.
Correct.
Especially now
But
with
that's
the
very good
NCO.
to do, Michael. Yeah, that's what we recommend as well, actually.
So Daniel got a question here. What's your experience handling cars that change their timing chain after failure or broken? What is basically will happen?
Oh, this you got to look at it from case to case,
Yeah.
and sometimes the engine cannot be recovered, sometimes it can. So
I
it
guess,
depends how bad the engine was damaged.
yeah.
Was it just a bend valve,
Mm.
bend piston,
Yeah.
or
I guess
something inside broke?
coming back to today, we talk about, I guess, chains and belts. The third issue was about interfaceless engines, and that's the main thing over here.
Mm.
Most of those cars on
Right.
timing chains are all
Yes.
engines because you cannot what you call skip a beat. You skip one beat, the car is total.
Yes.
And what happens to that is, I think, your question here, Daniel. Some cars, some engines, it's a bent valve, as Mike said. Then fine. But how do you know about microfractures in the car? How do you know about that the piston is the block itself is there's no fracture? How do you know, for example, there are so many conditions, right, Mike? There's so many things that
Yes.
could be in this one,
Correct.
So depending on the severity of it, I've seen like that piston rods all coming out from the bottom of the car, top of the
Yes.
car. I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of degrees when timing chain fails. So you're depending on luck, like how bad is the damage,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also now because we are running multi-valve engines, usually if the chain or the belt breaks, there will be interference.
Mm-hmm.
When the interference happens, I've also seen broken camshafts and all that because of interference. Yeah, besides broken pistons, those are the failures we have seen. Yeah.
And in Malaysia, yes, does it make sense to change like I think it will cost you more to buy the pistons and all that separately than you buy a
Yep.
whole engine and just dumping the whole engine in.
Yes,
That-
yes.
that's the kind of cost I'm talking about. So yeah,
Correct,
crazy.
correct. Because sometimes oil and oil pumps can fail also, which we have seen before as well. Yeah, and that actually destroys the engine as well. Yeah.
So Gerritsen asking W11, yeah, on timing chain, yes, definitely.
Definitely a timing chain. And I think Jason can confirm that lah. Jason Camillus, because he's a Mercedes man. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of German cars are on timing chains because of
Yes.
the way they're designed to last. German cars were designed to last and to handle high stress applications. So timing chain was kind of their DNA, so to say. So
Yeah.
yeah. Just say yes on timing
Yeah.
chain.
Jason confirms that.
We got a
Yeah.
most expert here on the house. We
Yes,
got
yes.
Michael
I've done
Liu
it.
here.
Yes.
Sorry, some old diesel can snap timing belts without too many issues as their valves are free floating. Yes, and this is what they call as non-interference engines. When a non-interference engines, you know what? It slip, no big deal. Just put back
No big
when
deal.
you're off on your way. So when your car has an
Yes.
interference engine, you got to know what car you have and what type of engine it is.
Yep.
When there are interference engines, please you got to change it before something goes wrong, because if not, you're basically looking at the engine being totaled out. So yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Ernest Chua here asking us a question as well.
Yeah, I'm not a Mercedes expert by all many means.
Yeah.
It's
I
one of
think
the
from the sounds of it, your W207 has to be on the CGI engine.
it's a
Yeah, at 115,000 kilometers, I think if you got the budget, go and get the gears changed, and also the chain. because
I mean,
it's a known failure, with the CGI engine.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're pretty
let's
cheap
go and
nowadays,
do it.
I think, Mike, right?
Yeah, not that
It,
bad. A
it's
couple
not,
of thousand, you can
yeah,
get it done.
it's not crazy expensive, and basically you're giving the car a whole new lease of life.
Yeah,
And
the 207 is a nice car. 207.
yeah, it's beautiful.
And I'm not selling my tune, but I'm telling you, a stage 2 on that car, Mamma Mia, it's very nice.
I was very close to getting the 207, the AMG
Yes.
line, the Japan spec
Yep.
with the black roof. I got my A6.
Yes.
Yes. But it's very comfortable. That's the way you look at it. It's
very comfortable.
Very
Yes.
comfortable. Yeah.
And the car drives well, the 207. Yeah, one
So
of the
we
better driving cars from that era, from Mercedes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The only thing with the car was I just felt that the competition, you got the 207 and you got the A667 the same era.
Yeah.
On the 2011 to 10 era, and you got the BM
92, not yet. Still the E92, and then you have your F32 lah. The 4 Series. I think that came out 1 or 2 years later.
Yeah. I just find that the Mercedes was more comfortable, a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, definitely. And then if you don't tune it, even more uncle lah. That's the thing.
Yeah. And I think,
but that's how Mercedes is.
Yeah, it was comfortable in drive. And
yes.
And what car was that you tuned the other day with Pops and Banks? Was it the E300?
No Pops and Banks. What I did was the 211.
Was a crackle.
It's an E280. No crackle. It's just that we did the exhaust system. Because the car was so quiet.
Oh my God, that was beautiful.
One of my customers' car. Actually, it's his third car he tuned with us lah. He did his first car, which is Joseph. I do not know whether Joseph is with us here today. He did his Boxster with us, 981. Yeah, and then after that we did his Miata, and then he just brought the car in. He said, "Mike, I need a bit of V6 raw on the car." That executive V6 raw on the car.
That exhaust was fantastic. I was like, oh my, look at that exhaust. The crackle of that was so nice.
Yes. Because what we did was we did the X pipe on it, changed the exhaust, sports cat. Yeah, and Viola, the car sounds so beautiful. Nice, and the car really revs hard now.
So nice. So Jason just tells again from the 207, look out for grinding noise from the engine when cold set up. Yeah. Yes. Grinding noise is never a good thing. These cars are supposed to
See, we got another expert, Jason. I'd like to invite you to come in and join us in one of our shows, Jason. Enlighten us.
Have you on board. Daniel says Japanese cars, especially like Toyota and Honda, has been running in timing chain and very reliable. True. Yeah. I guess it's like Japanese cars are always under. They report under. They drive at lower capacity. They're more for not on the tipping scale of power. They're always more reliable, I guess. That's how Japanese cars are designed.
Yeah.
Gary has a question. Did you tune the E280 that day?
Yeah, I did. I did tune that car, and I think I shared that video with you guys. I tuned it to stage 2. That car, Gary. Yeah, and the car pulls hard to 6,000 revs now, and it sounds good as well. Okay, when we go for a break, I'll try to get that video in. Yeah.
Okay.
Then if we can try to share that video.
Okay. So we're going to go for a quick break now, and we'll come back with the other segment for the day. Ian, can you show the commercial for today? It's actually what I call, I see it here. Sorry, Ian, I see it now. So today's commercial is linked to our third segment of today's show. It's about politics. Obviously, it's been a very stressful week for us Malaysians in the world of politics, and I just don't know what to say. I'm at the point. I'm lost for words. But one thing I think of politicians in Malaysia, Mahathir and Najib and Mahidin, is I always think about the car they drive, and they drive their Audi A8. So this is a video commercial about the A8. Enjoy and come back. We'll continue on the show.
Le tournage à Londres est confirmé. Rendez-vous comme prévu demain à 7h30. Bye et bon voyage.
Welcome back, guys.
Hi, welcome back.
Wolfsprung douche technique. I mean,
Yep.
the A8 is something. I mean, but compared to
Yes.
the C8 and the C7, is it the earlier version? What is your preference? Do you like the current looking of the Audi or the earlier version?
Basically, I like the two earlier versions, the D2,
Two.
D3,
Okay.
the 2 and 3.
Okay.
I think those cars really looks the business.
Mm.
And
I think yeah, right.
yeah, and
It's
my
more boxier. It's more in your face,
Yes.
mean looking.
one thing is that Robert De Niro and Ronin, the show.
Yeah.
Wow, that A8 are really, and with the Audi space frame manufacturing technique, full aluminium body, wow, so beautiful. The way the car has been manufactured.
I was kind of surprised how come our politicians are using Audi A8s, especially the top officials, and then you go to Penang, they use the S-Class, correct?
Yes. Correct.
So you got
It's only in China, they use all the top officials use Audis.
Oh,
Yeah. The A8s.
it's an
And
interesting
also, Mahathir has uses that quite often as well.
choice. No, the A8 that you see on TV and stuff, that is the official car of the government. So Mahathir as the Prime Minister's car in Malaysia is the A8. So that's why Mahathir has. So the car you see is the Prime Minister's car. So Audi, Mahathir uses it, Mahidin uses it, they all. That's the car they use, the official car.
Yes.
But I've seen other officials were also buying the A8s. So that's a very interesting choice compared to the typical luxury cars that you see. It's left field and definitely very interesting.
Yeah, and the A8, one thing I would have to say, if you want to get to point A to point B on the motorway, safely, very, 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 very fast, and with no fuss at all, is the A8. It's just an amazing car.
What's your take on, let's say, the three brands? I mean, Audi A8, the S Class, and the 7 Series.
As I said lah, if it's on the motorway, you want to be really comfortable, and the car is really comfortable as well. It takes all the Malaysian undulation very well. Whereas with the BMW and the Mercedes, you still have that waffle. The car is like voting. Whereas the A8, just take everything with aplomb. The car is, it's like a rocket. Very planted, the car feels. That is something nobody, Mercedes and BMW, can't replicate that.
It's more of a flying. It's more of a flying carpet. Is the ride that you get on a S Class, because it kind of just floats along.
Yes.
The 7 Series, I find the 7 Series as a driver is fantastic. I think it gives you the driver feeling more sportier. On the Audi as a driver, I find it's very reassuring. It's good, but there's no drama to it. It's just
no drama,
flat,
no drama,
just flat, no drama.
Correct.
And that's where, as a driver's car, the BMW I think comes on top. But if I want to be in a car and drive with no fuss, no muss, no drama, just give me straight, flat.
Yes, get you there.
Plum, whatever. Yeah. So it's very, very.
But if you're in the mood, but then if you are in a big car like that, you're not really going to hustle it, lah.
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah, you're not going to hustle the big car, anyways. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to some questions over here. Okay. So so we got some questions happening there. We're talking about cars and the Mercedes experience. So Luke says, for the rat squeaking noise when the engine is cold, try pushing the V belt and lubricating the pulley. Okay, that's a
yeah, that could be it. Sometimes, yes.
So Luke says, I just said once in a blue moon when the engine is hot and after a long ride, not during cold. When the engine is hot, should be fine, isn't it? And the sound is the engine is hot. It's probably oil related. It's like starvation of oil.
Better check it out.
Starvation of oil issue.
Cold, yeah. I mean, cold or hot, if the car doesn't sound normally how it used to sound, get it checked out. That is the advice. Don't prolong it. Okay. All right. And coming back to the Audi platform, the D platform, in the Audi speak, the D platform. Actually, the D platform, the D1 platform, they call it. The D2 was based on the D1, but on the space frame, because the D1 platform is actually the same platform which was which they make the Audi A8 and also the Porsches and also the Bentleys. All were based on the same platform. Yeah.
In fact, they all got two batteries, I think, if I'm mistaken. Exactly like a Bentley, they all got two batteries in the back. One for the electronics and one for the
yeah. And the Phaeton as well, the VW Phaeton.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind driving a 4-liter V8, the A8.
S8. The S8. Yes.
That's something. In fact, I think the A8 comes in a 4-liter also. I think
yes.
I think the newer. I believe the newer A8 comes in a 4-liter, but the older one comes as an S8, something of that nature.
Yes. No, even the D4 model, I think it came with the twin turbo engine. The twin turbo engine, same as the S6. So
yeah, it's an interesting car. So when next time you look at the politicians driving on the road, you can think about how well and comfort they are arriving without no fuss, no muss. They are complete luxury coming to their locations, while we struggle in motorways and potholes and bumps and whatnot.
Yes.
So,
full aluminium body. Yeah.
Fantastic. So we're going to just share something here. So we talked about, I guess, the fatal flaws, I guess, of timing chains and timing belts. If it's 80% engines, Obviously you got a big issue, you may have a catastrophic failure. When it comes to tuning, we will recommend you guys to always have a car checked out. If it's a timing belt, yeah, very quickly we can do a quick test for you and check out with the mechanic that we
Yep.
have, or our partners. Or if it's a timing chain also, if it is we really suspect something is off, we will help get you to have it checked out. But other than that, you are not going to cause any issue between the car, because I think as earlier on as we showed on the diagram, what we do in tuning here, the charts themselves, the very fact that, let me show you the chart again. Let me show the chart again. Stop screen, share screen, window. Yeah. The curve speak for themselves, the power curve, and the way they have designed, that power curve will ensure that you're not putting undue stress to your car when you come and tune with us in DNA.
Yeah.
That's the key takeaway.
Yeah, we our guys in the UK, what they do is, first of all, they will understand the strengths of the engine, and we won't even push it to 100% of what the engine is capable of. They will push it to the level where the engine is very comfortably handling that kind of power. Not beyond that. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's why you get a very nice and smooth tune when you guys tune with us. Yeah. And I could see there were a few guys in here which is viewing now, which are already our customers, and friends that is already on our tune.
So again, we have our number down there. Contact
Yeah.
me tuning at 012-202-4881. Any questions
Yep.
for us, please drop down a message. Next week we'll come back with another show. The CarTUNES episode is all about information, giving you some value in the discussion, so that you can look after your cars better. If there's any topic you want to talk about and discuss about, we bring in experts from various industries, fields, whether it's car tuning to do with audio, suspension, ECU, TCU, you name it, we got it. And yeah, that's about it. Mike, anything else, Mike, want to add?
Nothing much else. I'd like to thank all of you guys, for joining us. Yeah, and also the Horizon team. Yeah, for allowing us to beam through your life in the Horizon FB. Yeah, thank you very much for that. It's an honor for us. Yeah.
Okay. And if you are on Horizon, please make sure to join us to our other shows. On Monday,
Yep.
we have Bobby Con coming on car buying guides. On Tuesday, we have Crisscross with Chris Wee. Crisscross Tuesday with Chris Wee.
And last week, it was very nice last week because, we have Malaysia's first Formula One driver, Alex Yung, on the show. Very inspiring. Yeah.
Okay. On Wednesday, we're going to rock out and chill out with Alex STM Rock. It's a fun show to tune to. On Thursday, I'll be live on Thana and Friends, where I bring my friends along to talk about stuff. And this week, we are going to talk about job employment, about does money buy talent? And on Friday, we have Thomas Yap coming with Talk Gear. So a full show for a full week. Join us. Yes, Mike?
Yes, and lastly, guys, thank you for joining us again, and let us know, what you want to see from CarTUNES here. Yeah, we are looking for some feedback as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you very much, guys.
Okay, cheers, and see you next week.
See you next week.